you. Yesterday was a fun day as ABC lost its mind because Joe Biden and Donald Trump are neck and neck in a general election if it was called tomorrow. Imagine that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rent Network, podcast hosted by my friend Stuart Brisgell, myself, David Solomon. We bring you unfiltered, uncensored conversations live and uncensored every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern on a wide range of topics. This podcast is dedicated to giving you the platform to express your opinions, share your thoughts, experiences, and ideas, and hear from a variety of perspectives and honest opinions. Join us as we dive in today into the latest news, but generally we talk about pop culture, pop politics, and a whole bunch of other things. We talk about things of modern life to some things that are so deep and affect our society every day. Don't worry, folks, we got you covered. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this Monday, Labor Day edition of the Rant Network. Well, Stuart, over the weekend, Sunday is generally those news people. They all get together to have their talking heads to talk about the latest in the news, and they bring their so-called experts around the table. And I caught some of it on Sunday. But ABC, George Stephanopoulos, a guy I have no respect for, lost keys on Sunday because Joe Biden and Donald Trump are neck and neck in the latest polls. Stuart, you as an American watching this must be fun for you to watch.
Georgie Porgy had an orgy. Let me tell you, curious George. You know, First of all, please don't insult a reporter. The guy is a broadcast puppet for the DNC. And the fact that he is all bent out of shape because the independents are finally not voting and looking at Biden as a viable candidate. And as much as mud they sling at the former president, Donald J. Trump, I really don't think they are going to push that cart over the finish line because, as much as, we're not Donald J. Trump supporters, we're more, again, conservative versus Democrat, I think, on our broadcast, David. But the reality is, anything that they try and do to this former president just seems to be igniting the gas behind him. They're fueling him, they're igniting the base, they're igniting everyone against the DNC. I think it's all backfiring. And what's astonishing to me is that Georgie Porgy at ABC just can't believe there are facts behind why. And he is in part responsible for the rise of Donald J. Trump. And again, listen, I would hope DeSantis, Nikki Haley would garner more support, because to be honest with you, Newsom versus, DeSantis and Nikki Haley would be more of a fun ticket for everyone than Biden Trump. I mean, honestly, they're two old men, both dirty and corrupt as can be. Oh, sorry, can't say that. Biden hasn't been formally charged, but he's been accused of peddling influence, receiving millions and billions and trillions of dollars, making decisions for the U.S. government at taxpayers' expenses, what aren't in the best interests of the U.S. taxpayers. So, frankly, allegedly, Donald J. Trump has been charged. Okay, charged, not allegedly, he has been, and multiple times. But the difference between charging and convicting are like between half pregnant and pregnant. You just can't be half pregnant, guys. So, why in the world is ABC spending so much time on trying to force this issue? And I'm going to tell you why. Because they have nothing else that they can talk about that the DNC is authorizing them to talk about. Because hang on a second, one second, let me finish. More importantly, instead of covering diplomats from Morocco going to Israel to show that they're now going to agree and side with Israel in this world politics shaming event that's been going on recently, They don't even talk about that. They talk about the one thing that's polarizing the ignorant and insane.
Look, Stuart, I got to tell you, the DNC actually has a mantra for Joe, and the mantra is empathy. Look how empathetic he is, and I mean, article after article after article after article, and someone was kind enough to send it to me. Forbes in August of 2020, how empathy defines Joe Biden. In November of 2020, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the return of empathy when America needs it most. Joe Biden, an empathetic leader whose time has come. Forbes, November 2020. Biden, empathy is what matches him to the moment. The Atlantic, November 2020. And they're pushing this mantra of him going to Maui and being that empathetic guy, even though he lied about his kitchen and his Corvette and his cat and his whatever he called it.
Oh, wow.
And then you have the empathy of him in Florida and whatever. But it's interesting because there are two things that they're pushing about the DNC is pushing: the empathy part and Bidenomics. And I'll get to Bidenomics in just a second. But it's crazy how they want to call him as the nice guy, that he is the empathetic guy. Because really, when it comes up to the Americans and our foreign policy, economics, and blah, 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 empathy matters most. And this is how the DNC has nothing else to talk and nothing else to push about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But it's interesting to note that he hasn't gone to East Palestine. So what empathy is he really doing, Joe Biden? And second of all, okay, and this is really what's incredible about this guy is that it took him how long to get to Maui because he was taking vacations. Empathy schmempathy. It doesn't
And
jive.
where is he?
Now let's talk about Bidenomics, because if you look,
Where is he planning to?
no, he's been hiding it. But here's the thing: in the same the Wall Street, 9/11, he's not even going to go. He's sending everybody else because he's coming back from India and he's just too tired. He can't make it, which is a whole other problem. And here's the thing: the reason the Democrats are losing this battle is Bidenomics. Is you push the Bidenomics ticket so hard. But according to the same Wall Street Journal survey that found that both Biden and Trump are neck and neck, okay, is that I apologize, folks, if my video is fuzzy, folks. I have no idea why. I apologize for the technical glitch. 58% of voters say that the economy has gotten worse over the past 2 years, whereas only 28% says it's gotten better, and nearly 3 in 4 say inflation is heading in the wrong direction. Now that's interesting because on Sunday, there were a bunch of people from the Democratic National Party or whoever going from talk show to talk show talking about how wonderful Bidenomics has been and that it's been mischaracterized by the Republicans, by the media. It's working beautifully until Kamala Harris put her foot in her mouth the other day. And when she was talking about abortions and this and that, she said, quote, most Americans are a $400 unexpected expense away from bankruptcy. So you have to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, how stupid the media wants to paint the average American. Now, we know that a lot of Americans aren't affiliated with a party, Republican or Democrat. And Stuart talked about the independents. About one thing, folks, okay? It's the independents that win you an election. And independents are completely disappointed, unhappy with what's going on. So, folks, I don't know about you. Where is this going? Stuart, where is this election going to go?
Well, so now where the election is going is the labor unions. How Joe Biden is the man for the labor unions.
Actually, you know, it's funny. Sunday Morning did a whole story about that the unions, that the people within the union are conservatives, voting conservative, and that the DNC no longer has the stranglehold on the union members like they used to. It's very interesting.
I understand. That was the point. That was the point I was trying to get to. Is that they are trying to lean in that they're the people for the people.
Yeah,
is the DNC in supporting the labor. How President Joe Biden is the man to lead the labor unions and support them, and how his record has always been so. But, I think people need to remind themselves is that what exactly Joe Biden is famous for. Well, in recent years, Joe Biden, before he became president, was famous for recommending not to take out Osama bin Laden. In 1988, he was famous for stealing and plagiarizing and lying about speeches. So I really, at this point, don't know how the DNC is trying to spin a lying, alleged cheater, influence peddler um, to the White House.
Well,
And, and
Stuart,
hang,
but this is
hang,
it. Yeah,
hang on,
because they
hang
have
on,
nobody else.
because the Republicans are flawed as well. The
What?
Republicans constantly talk a big game, but always come up short with any kind of arrest, any
Look,
kind
this,
of conviction. It's just, I think the Republicans need to get off that bandwagon completely unless they're willing. I think the independents are at the point where you keep talking about from hook up Hillary to Obama's credible, whether he's American or not, to Biden's family corruption. If they don't put handcuffs on someone this time,
forget
the
it, Stuart. There's no
entire
handcuffs. Like
I know
it's a
exactly,
fucking
exactly,
dream what you're doing, Stuart. Listen, enough with this.
exactly. No,
Enough
but
with
you
enough
know,
with your incarceration.
you need to
The
stop. No,
Republicans. No, no, no,
David,
no, no. I'm not stopping. The
you're wrong.
Republicans are
You're
screaming.
wrong.
The Republicans are screaming. We're going to
Exactly.
impeach
And it's
Biden and all that. It's bullshit and nonsense. Look, let's call a spade, Stuart. Okay.
but I was trying to
Neither
get to that.
party. Neither
Instead of
party.
allowing me to say that, you're just cutting me off.
No, neither party
Yeah.
has a good candidate. Okay. One of the comments that we heard, yeah, no, Stuart, calm down. One of the
Shut
comments that we heard in after the Republican debate was when you talked about immigration, for example, nobody had a plan. Like to say that I'm going to send troops into Mexico, that's not a plan. That's stupidity. And I'm sorry, Ron DeSantis, but you showed stupidity. Vivek Ramaswamy, you showed stupidity. You heard these one and more again. Sadly, who was the only one who had a plan?
Nikki
Donald J.
Haley. Well, Nikki
He had
Haley
a
wasn't.
plan. No, but he had a plan to build a wall. It was a wall. He was going to put more money into, the immigration police. But nobody else is coming up with a plan. And this is the thing. And people are tired. And if the election was called tomorrow, I would be a betting man to tell you it'd be one of the lowest turnouts because people are fed up. There's no leadership. You've got a 77-year-old guy on this side of the room and an 80-year-old guy on this side of the room. Both are like, what, as you called it, potential criminals, because neither were indicted, neither were arrested, but both alleged the Hunter Biden laptop is a smoking gun. Where, the people in the United States are begging for new, but no one's coming to the forefront. That's the scary part.
I can't agree more. David, I'm just going to give you this as I was trying to say, that there is no basis for anyone to call someone convicted. So you made a
But
mistake. You made a mistake, David.
No, I didn't make a mistake, Stuart.
Donald J. Trump is indicted, and he is charged, and those are facts.
Oh, but is he guilty?
Well,
Are either of them
guilt,
okay,
guilt
so did either of them give? But you notice that the ABC will not, and none of this liberal media will give Donald Trump. They're already convicted him. They've convicted him. He's a criminal.
Yep.
MSNBC's called him a criminal. All right,
Yep.
He doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Biden and his mafia family do, but he doesn't. And then what you hear, Stuart, is that the people, the voters, the people in the polls are just telling the liberal media, shut up.
Okay. Well,
Stuart,
David,
let's put it this way. Since Stuart doesn't agree with me, that's great, no problem. And he thinks I don't agree with him, but that's okay, that's no problem, because that's what the Rant Network's all about. And we're done for today. So, folks, we hope you enjoyed this conversation, gained some valuable insight. And hey, listen, we appreciate your support. Check us out on Wednesday, Friday, next Monday, always Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. In the meantime, social media's got us. We're all over the web. Podcasting, download it from your favorite podcast sources, from Apple, from Spotify, you name it. We'd love to hear from you, folks. Send us those information. Keep liking and sharing. And until next time, Stuart, say goodbye.
Say goodbye.